through kind of a day or a morning in the life of a manager. So effectively, the main daily tasks will revolve around the LA Desk application, which you can get to anytime by typing in this URL here. This is something you may want to bookmark or otherwise keep track of so that you know how to get back to it right away. There is the operator dashboard, which has a tab titled CRMs right here, and that will also enable you to click on either the AppFolio or LA Desk links directly here. So you can see that it'll open up that application here, and then I'm logged in currently as Sally Smith, but this would be exactly what your LA Desk view looks like. All right, so there is a slim column here on the far left, and if I push this arrow button, it will give me the labels for the buttons on that slim column. Okay, I'm currently in the tickets tab, so that's what's showing here, and I can, okay, I guess that's like a reload button there, but the dashboard here basically will track your time and tell you how much time that you're spending on things, and you can take reports so you can track your hours in LA Desk specifically. The overall hours that you work here are going to be tracked by rescue time, which is highlighted and explained in the setup video, but you can look at just your email and correspondence phone and text message correspondence statistics here, and then you can review the different departments that you're in and any other agents that may be online at the moment. And this is one way that I can send messages to agents that are also online and on the team. When I click on the dot, that's an instant message, and that just pops up like a typical chat box here. Hi, Nick. I can type to him there. But you'll notice, and you'll see, because I'm also logged in, that I get that message here. But if I go in, I might have a specific ticket that I want to write about, and then I can basically go to the ticket that Nick is working on there. So I closed that tab out, and you'll see up here on the top there's going to be creating new buttons as we kind of get working here in LA Desk. So most of the time is going to be spent here in the tickets area, and these are the general departments that you're going to be in. So all is effectively a combination of all of these. So we're a little bit behind on approving invoices, so that's why there's a lot of tickets in that box, and that 99 is reflected here. But once this gets worked down, and it shouldn't be more than 3 to 4 in a day, you'll see that your all will be reduced. There's also this assigned to me function. So LA Desk has a feature, multiple features, but one of them is assignment to specific agents within a department. So we can be in the management department, and effectively all of the tickets that you're going to see in this department are either assigned directly to you, and in that case it would be highlighted here. So right now we know that none of these are assigned to you, or assigned to nobody, and in the assigned to nobody case, they're effectively assigned to you. So you'll be the default assignee, and if it's something that you don't know or can't figure out, it's real simple when you click on any of these work orders. So I just clicked into this work order here, just highlight over any of these tickets like a normal email box and click into it. And then I can basically see the history of the email, and I can, make my decision and decide whether or not it's going to go forward or not, and respond to my emails. And I can adjust my windows anywhere I see one of these lines on the page. I can make adjustments. I think that should hide that so I get like a bigger view. There we go. And there are other LA Desk videos which go over a lot of the details of things going on in here and on the header bar, and as well as some of the additional features highlighted down here. So for this specific video, I'm just going to kind of go through the management inbox in the tickets dashboard. So this is just kind of like a day in the life of answering management ticket requests. So the idea is that you're coming in and checking these boxes at least twice a day, but whatever fits with your workflow. So I'm just going to go and kind of talk through my decision-making process on each of these emails to kind of give you an idea of how we respond to people, the types of requests that come into this management box, and how they should be dealt with. So this is an email about access for work order number 11631. Now when I'm working in LA Desk, I will often click into AppFolio and into the on-site operator dashboard and use some of these tools that I have to deal with some of the issues coming into the work order inbox. So here I'm just going to search the work order number, check it out, wood frame window, it was sent to this vendor. This maintenance at on-site email is our maintenance operations center, so they were made aware of this. Let's see here, and we always want to include them on any correspondence. So I'm going to reply to this. Move from ticket. I want to have maintenance. Check with the owner on this. Maintenance. Can you please confirm with the owner that they approve this $800 requirement to replace? Maybe I'm getting a little bit chatty because they should see a lot of this history and everything as well. And I want to kind of $800. So we can see that the maintenance work limit's $600, so we need owner's approval. And as a standard process, we have the maintenance department do that. We should encourage and give a reason why anytime we're making recommendations for things. Property management is all about information, so the more information we can relay and make readily available, the better. So I didn't slow down and show you. I can go back to that ticket down here. It just kind of jumps to the bottom of my importance list, and you can see that it was marked as answered. I generally just leave things answered until I know that they are completely resolved, once I respond to an email, it's going to automatically mark it as answered and change the status of it from new or open ticket. If I wanted to, and this was completely done, I could have clicked the resolve button here instead of just closing the window. But this will kind of remind us in a little bit to check on this to make sure that it gets closed out. So I'm just going to keep going through here. Okay, new work order. So our work order process is a little bit funny. For third window from the left not staying open. Okay, so our maintenance department actually doesn't make work orders. All right, so when the work orders come in, we have to make one in AppFolio. So I'm gonna come here and just make a new service request. This is for Bowmin, and I'm just gonna kind of copy and paste the information from this maintenance request here into AppFolio. All right, and just make sure that I'm getting enough information. All right, the third window from the left of the room, not saying open. Okay, that seems like pretty much makes enough sense. She gives permission. She's happy. That's good. To enter the unit when not home. Okay, and then AppFolio has the tenant contact information, so that's automatic. Okay, I do not assign it to anybody. All right, I just save this, and then I email this. Okay, to maintenance@onsiteps.com. All right, maintenance@onsiteps.com. So I'm emailing this internally to our maintenance department. All right, and just hitting send. And now they will follow up with a tenant. They will assign it a vendor, and they will coordinate the completion of it. We just have to make the work order if it comes into the LA desk box. So that one I've made the work order, and I'm going to hit resolve. Okay, and now I'm going to, I start at the top because my importance is things that are older. And you can see here that, 18 hours behind. So this is partly why we need a little bit of additional bandwidth. Okay, this is breakdown. I wanted a breakdown for an estimate. We're going to go per unit and calculate a large estimate for the entire building. All right, it's answered. And that just kicks it down. And I'm just going to go ahead and close it here. If I hit, depends on probably what computer you're using, but I hit the control key on my computer to get rid of all those yellow tabs that you saw popped up. Might be helpful at some point. All right, close that and I just keep going down. All right, spam does happen, and being able to identify spam is an important skill in property management, because opening the incorrect or malicious file can have pretty severe consequences. So, this is clearly spam. I try not to judge name types, but because it could come from a Sally Smith, right? It doesn't matter, but this is obviously an automated email. And really the most important thing about these spam emails are to not click into one, right? If you think it's spam and you just don't know, just go ahead and transfer the ticket to, we got a few departments here. You can transfer it to Webmaster, and just say, I think this is spam, help. If you think it's really malicious or something, and then we can, take care of it, put out a company work letter, or, address it. But don't click into things. If you do click into things, definitely do not put your email or passwords, specifically no username passwords. The only place you should be putting username and passwords are when you directly go and access, any of these sites directly, and you're being very careful about which URL you are going to use these. And note that they all are HTTPS, so that the communication between that site and our computer is secure. All right. So spam is something to be aware of. No clicking on things. Be careful about downloading things. If you see like funny invoices from companies we don't recognize, or wire transfer instructions, or your check is waiting, people have all kinds of ways to getting under our skin. So just be real careful, because if it sounds too good to be true, it is. So I'm just going to hit the spam button there. All right, this is probably another spam message. It's just people hitting us up in marketing. Okay, I'm going to, it's from an interview, so I'm going to transfer this to broker's desk, okay, because it's not necessarily for me, right? And if it's not for me, I'm going to transfer it to a department in which it is for. Brokers is basically like the supervisor staff, and if there's any hard to answer questions or situations you need help with, you can always go ahead and transfer any ticket onto the brokers department. No need to assign it to anybody. We deal with it as a team. And you'll note that there are other departments. In fact, you're in most of them, but webmaster is an important department to take note of. Security deposits, like processing move-out inspections and so forth. Purchase orders, when we're trying to buy things in-house, usually like an Amazon order being sent to a resident manager, or a specialty light bulb we'll send to a tenant. We'll buy things and send them out, and that can be something that you might be working on. Print and mail, whenever we need something printed and mailed, another department you may be working on, so there'll be more videos about these departments in more specificity. New clients, another department you're in, for incoming sales, new management contracts, and things of that nature. Management requests, this is like the main department that you're in. Webmaster and IT, I guess I'm going to have to combine those two. But invoices, this is for client invoices or business invoices, and we'll go through that department specifically as well. Extraordinary is a toss-up. It's usually government files and things of that nature that need to be filled out. So usually like rent pass-through petitions, or Section 8, or regulatory documents, and there's a couple different types, and so that will be some onboarding lesson that we do at a later date, and it'll be specific to each type as we get more comfortable with these basic functions. All right, there's the corporate bookkeeping and human resources department. So anything that is specific to the business of OnSite itself and not necessarily the client's businesses of properties can be forwarded there. Collections and evictions, pretty straightforward. What's going on with tickets that live in there. Client trust bookkeeping, anything numbers that's not specifically invoices related to client trust bookkeeping, and money management can be forwarded to that department. Brokers, this is if you have questions about anything and anything, just send them to brokers and they will help you manage and deal with that there. Agents, leasing, and sales is our listings area. So we have some properties for sale, mainly properties for lease. We do have active agents responding to and working in that box, but there will definitely be times where it's assigned to nobody or assigned to you, and we will ask for your help in fielding some tenant responses and getting them properly sorted out. So there'll be some specific training in that department as well. And then access requests is another department that you have access to, and it's vendors or realtors needing access to properties, and we'll walk through the process and how to provide that to them there. So just kind of wanted to give you an idea. I think the most important one for you to know is really brokers, because it's the solve all your problems, transfer to them department, and you know that it can get handled. All right. So I've already transferred it to them. You can see that it's listed up here at the top. And then usually you could write notes like transfer to you because not my business or whatever. All right, so that's that. Phone calls come in through here. As a general practice, in the management requests, I do not return calls that do not have voicemails. I simply mark it as resolved. Okay, the voicemail box is very clear about people requiring to do that and leave a voicemail if they're expecting a return call, and that didn't happen. Okay, so I'm just going to keep going down the list here. Now, this is an interesting one. So this actually is a spam message and probably one that will continue to reoccur. Click here, right? Now, if you look at the bottom left here, look down here, look here, and I'm going to highlight the Enter Here button, and you can see, now look back down in that left area, direction.pingfiles.fr, which I think is France, Craig's. It's not Craigslist, right? Like, this is somebody that grabbed our email off of an advertisement on Craigslist and then is sending us spam mail through it. All right, so this is spam, and there's another way. So we saw that there was 3 of them, right? So I can click and highlight multiple of these, and I can go to the mass action button here. Okay, and there's a whole bunch of stuff that I can do to these. All right, some of the main ones, add notes and tags, might be quite useful. I think that if you look down here, resolve ticket is quite a useful one. Another one is the transfer ticket. Okay, so if I wanted to transfer all these to whomever and write a note, I could do that, you know, on a multiple of these. Postpone is a feature that we'll cover in another area, basically like giving you a reminder to yourself at some later date to follow up with somebody. It's a great ticket. Remove tag, merge. I was looking for spam. Transfer, mark as spam. Okay. There's also a delete, but I'm going to mark this one as spam now. And then it will have done that to all of the listings in bulk. Okay, let's see here. Coordinate. This should go to leasing department. So I'm going to transfer this to leasing. They're supposed to coordinate the pre-move out inspections, so I'm going to send that to them and just transfer. And I'm going to close it. So I left it as new, right? I'm not resolving it. This has been transferred, and I'm done with it. All right. You might get instructions for create turnover. This is kind of old instructions, which I will be removing. So I'm just going to resolve that, and I need to go into it. Forward to owner. So this is like a type of instructions that you might get, and so I'm going to, this is instructions to me, right? Forward to owner, all right? So I'm going to forward to the owner, 1051 Post Street, so I can look up their information here. And click on the building, there are the owners there. Oh, oh. I want their contact information. Okay, Adam. I want the other one. Let's see here. Let me just click the back button here. Back. Find the other owner, Phil. Okay. Copy his information here, and then add it. Okay, and then I'm just going to clean this up a little bit. Okay. Dear Adam and Phil. It's weird because I paused a little bit because they gave notice on the 20th and they're trying to move out in 2 days. So it's a little funny, and you know, the broker will end up having to charge them like a full 30 days. All right, and I'm going to resolve this, okay? And the reason why I'm resolving it is because I've forwarded this to the owner, okay? So I've done the task now. All right. This is a resume, so I'm going to transfer this to brokers. See, I'm getting the box down. It was 20, and you know, with a detailed explanation, we're not too far off. My neck, I called on board, doesn't want the work order unless he works directly. I'm not sure what's going on with this vendor, but vendors oftentimes like make situations and they need to be called and have their hands held. So while our maintenance department coordinates a lot of stuff back and forth, like we're still kind of playing the manager role and have to help them make decisions about this. Please see if Perfect Landscaping is willing to provide ongoing X a month landscaping services, and janitorial services at this property. And you know, while I know what's going on in each of these situations specifically, you know, very quickly will all of these issues become to the forefront of your knowledge base, and you'll kind of understand what's going on, having been in property management for some time. So just keep going. No voicemail, no call. The one department that I will call no calls in is the new clients one. So if you come into the new clients, because there's a new one here, and you see hang up without voicemail, I will call this person back. And the way that we do that is by hitting more Twilio call, and then it will put their phone number in there directly. Then I can hit the call button. It's probably late where they are right now, so I'm not going to call them. But those are the calls that I will call back, and they're good for you because if you close new clients, you get additional money on your check. So I'm going to wrap up this situation with the management tickets. There's no information in this email. I'm going to respond. Mail to you a few days ago. All right, going to resolve that. It seems like a reasonable request, but I need to check with Adam. He's not on mine, and we'll give you direct. I know it seems a little funny, but I'm going to go to Facebook to message Adam because that's. I don't know if I can. Okay. Oh, let's see here. What is that? So let's see here. Load. Go to my homepage. Nothing to hide here. I want to just message Adam quickly. I'm not usually 100% on where leasing is at, so I wanted to ask what was going on with that. I'm going to go back to this, and I'm just going to quickly say, I don't see a problem with a prorated payment every day. Double checking to make sure we don't have this up, but this first would be okay as we measure. Alright, so, just the day-to-day responding to people and trying to make like executive decisions about things, being fair and reasonable and responsible with people is really the name of the game. So let's see here. I'm not sure if you can hear as I play this voicemail. Okay, work order 1065, vendor called Glassall Inc. They want a work order. They want to reach out to the tenant. They want to give the tenants. Okay, so they're asking permission to give the tenants the contact information for Glassall, and I think that that's fine. So this was work order 1065. So I'm going to come 1065. Oh, not check. Wrong one. 1065. Work order. Correct the right button. Okay. And then on this, okay, here's the issue, is that it wasn't in our system. So I'm going to find Glassall. Is this really them? Yep, looks like them. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add under vendors here. I'm going to add a new vendor. Use company name. Let's copy some of this information in here. Okay, I'm copying that, coming in here, copy that, phone number. This one actually happens to be on the peninsula, so I'll put that down here. We have a nice little email here. then to be thorough, let's look into that map. I just wanted to copy it, copy all that, come in here and cut it up. All right, I'm just going to hit save. Now, what I want to do is go back to the work order and want to edit this under class all. Listed there. Okay. Hit save. And then actions. Actions, okay, this is important. So if we want to notify the tenant about things going on with this work order, okay, work order number 1065. For whatever reason, it doesn't put it in the subject, but here, and you can see the tenant's names up here. Right? I don't know everybody. I just kind of take it from where it is. Caregiver and Doma. Please see attached vendor information for the window repairs. Boom. All right, and it automatically puts that stuff in there. Send. Okay. So this one is done, and then Infinity. Like this is a property that we manage. They like to send us newsletters. I usually don't read them and just automatically resolve them. All right. So that was 20 emails in the management inbox. Not too bad about getting through all that. And you know, learning. It will take you time to get up to pace, but you know, with all your management experience, I don't think the learning curve will take too long. Just wanted to double check with Adam. And then after we hear back from Adam, 11:11, it's one of my favorite times. And naturally, like, Adam doesn't happen to be online right now because you would see him in here. You know, you could ask Nick, and Nick could ask Adam as well. You'll see him down here, and you can leave him an offline message. So that's one way to do it. Or the other way would be to do a new internal ticket, and you can put a request in here. It depends on how much time you have, really, or, you know, your level of anxiety to get the ticket answered. And you will also have Adam and Jessica and Nick and Barrett's personal cell phone information, so you can call them on the phone if you need like a really quick response as well. So let's see. Anyways, we did the response to the tenant, so we don't need Adam to respond and say yes. That was a day in the life of a manager dealing with the management inboxes, and we'll talk about each of these other categories and departments and the tasks related to them in other videos. So hope you enjoyed this little training video. If you have any questions, just go ahead and ask. Thanks so much.